ambush and survive fairly easily. Barrow, not so much, but the rest of the group managed okay. After that close call, you guys made your way east towards Drygulch and saw a pyramid in the distance. Atari and Kit went to go investigate and saw that the temple was quite large, between 500 and 600 feet tall, and there was an obelisk that sat on the top of it with a primordial inscription written vertically from top to bottom, and a large statue of a bare-chested dwarf holding some sort of ancient warhammer or maul. The design of the weapon was just so old that it was kind of hard to figure out what it was. It was just a big piece of rock, mostly rock and a hilt.
Can I copy the inscription down? And can I somehow scribe this down?
If you want to go to the pyramid and do that, that's fine. But you'd have to phase in and out of Atari to get one at a time and try to because you're not looking at it.
Oh, okay. Okay, never mind.
Because both of you are warging right now.
That's right. Okay, that's fine. Okay.
But the dwarf has runes etched from his torso, around his belt line, all the way up through his chest, his arms, across his face, and his bald head. The statue is facing on the east side of the temple, and it is facing east as well, away from the temple. And the day is yours.
All right.
Whatever you'd like to do with it.
How many openings? Can we see any openings in the pyramid?
There are no openings around the base, and there are stairs in the center of each of the four sides that go up to that obelisk. But there's no opening in the temple. Oh, and I'm sorry, there was a moat, a 10-foot revolving moat around this pyramid, just kind of circulating. It looks like fresh water, and it's not still. There is a current, but there's no discernible water source. It's just this 10-foot wide moat that's just slowly circling.
And that through how any animals around the moat, it's an oasis. If any animals are coming around.
As Kit and Atari do a few laps, there doesn't seem to be any life around at all.
I'll have Atari swoop in and take a sip.
He does so. He swoops down, and through his vision, you see him drink from the water source.
How does he feel about the water? Does it taste refreshing to him?
Tastes like cool water, yeah. It's in the desert heat, yes, it was. It's hard to get, emotion from him. He can tell you, I guess, telepathically. I'm not exactly sure how a familiar would be able to communicate that message. But yeah, we'll say that it was refreshing.
All right.
He's not poisoned. He hasn't died.
No, he doesn't seem to be. No, he swooped down, drank from the water, and he's hovering.
I'll unwarg and basically just relay that. And, guys, I think we've got at the very least we should stop and refill our canteens and water skins and maybe check out, see if this obelisk has anything else to offer us.
Sure. Yeah.
Through our owls, can we see any of those scorpion creatures that we saw?
No life.
Okay.
No life in the vicinity. And your vision is pretty good because if your owls went up to the top of this 500-foot pyramid, you could see out for a few miles and there's nothing moving. Just wind and sand and dunes.
Okay.
Okay. So I agree. I think we should go and I think we should check this out. I mean, Vinny has said there could be something good in there.
I guess. Yeah, let's go. All right.
Okay, so you guys make your way over. It was about, you were keeping a safe distance from this thing from the last session that you told me about. So we'll say it's about a 500-foot walk to get there. This thing is enormous. So you were pretty much near it already, but you go up to the water source and you can hear the water careening through. Kind of sounds like it's not a strong current. It's not visibly strong, but you can see that it's like kind of in the sand, but the sand isn't caving into the water. Almost like there's a dirt square dug into the ground, but the sand naturally would typically cave in. That's not the case here. There is no dirt, there is no grass. It's just the water kind of like in a box of sand, and there's no barriers to it. The water just seems to continue moving on its own. The statue is about 15 feet tall of this dwarf as he stands there with his weapon.
And he's on top of the pyramid, yes?
No, there was an obelisk on top of the pyramid, just a four-sided obelisk that comes to a point at the base of the mountain next to the stairs. Facing east is this large statue of this dwarf, which Hadvar was able to discern was Greg, of which the world was named after. So, as old as ruins get, but these are, I shouldn't say ruins, as old as any structure can be, you would assume, unless it was built years later as a tribute.
This is just a tribute.
You gotta believe me.
Okay, I'm gonna pull out my ritual book, and I'm just gonna look like detect magic if I look around the pyramid.
Sure.
Like where the water. I know it's too far away because it's only.
I'm gonna, while she's doing that, I'm gonna expend. Oh well, hold on. Actually, Brandon, you go. I'm gonna start getting water, but there's one other thing that I want to do. I just gotta double check to make sure I can do it.
I mean, there's obviously something magical going on here. Should we just drink the water?
Well,
I feel like maybe we should see what's going on. If you guys want to drink the water, drink the water. I mean, there's only 3 of us left. So
Yeah.
you guys die.
Wow.
And Scythe and I can just go off on our own and wait for the world to end. So
Wow.
So yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take the water. I'm gonna scoop it up in a water skin. I'm not gonna drink it just yet.
Okay. When
But
your
I
hands go into the water, it's cool. It is very cool to the touch. When you do that, it's probably about 75 degrees. So, yeah, pool water.
Hands dissolve off.
And you fill your water skin and you bring it out. And it feels nice on your arms. You kind of like rub it. Just kind of cools your skin down. Yep.
But now that we're up close,
Sexy.
can we see any contraption? Like I'm thinking like a water wheel.
Do I see anything in the water, creature-wise?
Ooh. Perception and investigation. Scratch that, reverse it.
Well,
Vero perception, Amora investigation.
is Amora still casting her ritual?
Yeah. We'll do this one thing at a time.
So while she's doing that, because I want to make sure I'm phrasing this correctly, while she's doing that, I would like to also cast Find Familiar again to change Atari into a Quipper.
Oh, okay. 10 gold.
Ooh.
All right.
Mark that off.
And I'm going to send him into the water to swim around and investigate.
Take an hour.
No, it's 10 minutes for a ritual.
What takes an hour?
Yes, it doesn't.
Oh, casting Find Familiar does. Yes, that's an hour-long spell.
Is it?
Yeah.
But I thought you could cast... Let me double check.
It's 10 minutes longer than that, so it's an hour and 10
For me to cast it as a ritual, it's an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah, the casting time on Find Familiar is an hour.
And then you add 10 minutes to whatever you are ritual casting's normal time. So ritual to ritual cast.
I just tried to scoop the last of this out, and I just went whoop right onto my shirt and pants.
Oh,
Okay. Well, then belay my last. I thought that did differently. I always forget about the casting time and the material components for Find Familiar.
No problem. Excuse
Okay.
me.
Well, then, yeah. I'm just
You're
going
gonna rest for an hour, but
What magic did you detect?
18 for an investigation.
That's for your investigation. So we'll do this one thing at a time. What was your perception, Barrow?
11.
There seems to be a shadow in the water, undiscernible. It doesn't look big. Your detect magic, Amora. The water itself glows, and the base of the temple, up to 15 feet high, glows.
Okay, so then I am well, depending on how far away I can get.
Ooh, the inscription on the statue also glows.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah. I wanted to copy that down.
15 feet.
So it is done.
Okay.
So when you say this shadow in the water
Yes.
doesn't look that large, what are we saying? Because like small to you might be like, oh shit, that's kind of large to me.
A foot long.
Oh, okay, that's small.
All right, to identify it, I have to touch it.
Long
I
so.
instantly really want to go touch that statue.
You do want to touch it?
I'm gonna wait.
Okay.
Bear, I'm gonna go touch that statue.
As I hear this, as I'm filling out my thing, I'm like,
I
I just imagine them going, no.
yeah,
You do you.
I don't know about all this. So you're saying that the water is magic.
The water is glowing 15 feet. The first 15 feet of the pyramid is glowing, and the statue, the sigils, the room,
Yep. The inscriptions.
the inscriptions on the statue are glowing.
Or sigils,
Or
as
sigils.
Matt Mercer.
Absolutely not.
I friggin' hate it. I hate it so much.
Sickles.
Can I?
that's disgusting. That's like putting on one sock and then one shoe and then one sock and then the other shoe.
Who would do that?
That is strange.
So seeing Hadvar put his hands into his water skin,
Yes.
I'm gonna like go over to the water. I'm gonna like sit Indian style or crisscross applesauce, and I'm gonna get my book and I'm just gonna try to touch the water and cast Identify.
Why are you doing that PC bullcrap?
I was being an ass. I sit my Indian style. I get my book and I'm like gonna try to touch the water, but I'm really gonna try it. I'm gonna be like, Barrow, can you come here for a minute? Can you just watch to make sure nothing comes up?
Barrow's already there.
And just
Barrow
make
doesn't
sure.
like any of this.
So
While
I'm
she's doing this, I'm going to have Atari kind of dive up under the water, and I want him to come out at her as she's casting as she's casting Identify.
Atreyu! Alright.
There's a loud splash as you're about to identify the water, and you see the owl kind of and splash you a little bit. It was not very surprising. You were just kind of like waiting for it to happen. You're like, all right.
Barrow is going to ready Sword of Sharpness and the Storm Dagger.
Okay.
Just if anything decides that it's gonna like try and come up and attack her or whatever, he's ready to go.
Sure. So after 10 more minutes, you determine that it's water.
Yeah, I didn't think it was.
At this whole point, I've been drinking the water. As soon as you said that it was
feels
so good,
great.
I'm just.
So
Yeah,
it's something under the pyramid and up, making it glow. Ooh,
If I stick my head under the water and open my eyes, what do I see?
Make a perception check with disadvantage.
I kind of want to
Terrible
do
idea.
I see him. I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
yep. Oh my god.
One and a 14.
No, it was a 1 and a 20.
Oh, bummer.
I see. I want to do this too because I think this is funny. I'm just gonna stick my head, hold on to my butt.
Hadvar, you fall in.
Yes.
Your armor is thankfully not heavy, so you do not sink that quickly. But you do go down about 5, 6, 7 feet before you catch yourself, right yourself, and start swimming up. And Amora, you put your head in and you try to open your eyes. You can roll a perception check with disadvantage. Hadvar, you bring yourself out. It's really nice to actually like get a little hydration going. You're feeling good.
Yeah, this feels good. I want to go swimming now. Thanks, Anthony.
Don't you work on a boat?
16.
Yeah, in the middle of the Norfolk Bay.
Yeah, you don't really.
16?
Yes.
As you are leaning in and you open your eyes, you can see what look to be what are typically school fish, but swimming as individuals every now and then. Just kind of one passes by, then another one goes by in the other direction.
Are they glowing?
They are not glowing.
Can I see what is glowing?
The water.
Okay, like that. I can't see the shadow figure or anything underneath.
Those were the shadows.
Those are the shadows.
Ah! Fuck!
Oops.
She stabbed me with a pencil
I
and
was
broke
like
the
this.
lead off. With my shorts. Ow! Okay. Here.
Well-
Farther.
I think at this point, I've kind of lost interest in what's down here, and I'm focusing on the obelisk at the top. So
It's tall. It's a tall climb.
How?
since I'm already in the water, I'm just gonna swim across the 10 feet and get out on the other side.
Sure.
Because it makes sense to me.
I want to touch the base of the pyramid.
You touch the base of this statue. It is oddly cold to the touch for it to be sitting in the desert sun for hundreds of years.
How wide is this moat?
10 feet.
And then it's another 15 feet up.
And what are the sigils? Do you have the sigils on like labels?
No, it's not. They're not arcane. It looks like a written language.
And I have all those written down, right?
Yep.
Okay.
They do not look familiar to any of you.
That's fair. Super fair.
So, I really don't know how this kind of stuff works. And I guess I'm going to talk louder since you're over there, Hadvar. But I'm kind of afraid that if we swim through the water and then come up on the other side, that something bad's going to happen.
Well, I'm over here. I think I'm all right.
Have you climbed out yet?
Yeah, he's on the other side, standing.
Yep. I've actually already started like investigating the base of the pyramid.
All right.
Go ahead and roll an invest. Yeah, go ahead.
How far away am I from Barrow and Hadvar?
Well, Hadvar is about 35 feet away from you, and Barrow can be as close as Barrow wants to be to you.
So I'm going to tell Barrow just to move away just a bit, like 30 feet.
Okay.
I'm going to cast Comprehend Languages.
Ah.
Just in case.
Sure. This is not a combat scenario. You don't have to roll your wild magic. This has been a calm scenario for a while.
So then
How long is that? How long does that take?
It takes 1 action, and it for the duration, which is 1 hour. You understand the literal meaning of the language you hear. You can also understand any written language that you can see, but you must be touching the surface of the words.
Very good. You read the primordial inscription to say, burial site of Drygulch and his shield breakers.
Wait, never mind. I'm kind of like tapping.
What was your investigation, Hadvar?
It was 13 as I'm tapping the base and the steps with my staff.
Okay. Do you ever like put your hands on the temple at all? You're not getting many. Nothing's happening as you're like.
Yeah,
poking.
I probably put my hand up against the not so much the steps itself, but like the face of the pyramid. Kind of like rub my hand across it. Let's see if I die.
Damn it!
You do not die. But you do feel a sharp pain as you rub your hand across the temple, and you recoil your hand, and you look at your fingertip, and you can see that something cut you. You don't take any damage, just pierced your skin. But as you look at it, and you go to like maybe put your finger in your mouth to like stop the bleeding, you see the blood just kind of lift off of your finger and throw itself into the water.
I look for it in the water. Does it dissolve? Does it like into the water, or?
I will get there. Barrow and Amora, now that you've read that, are you doing anything?
Is there any other text around around the obelisk or any?
The obelisk is like 550 feet above you.
Or if there's any text along the pyramid or the edge or the door.
Not that you're able to see. So as you're looking for that, you all notice that, and Hadvar, you can see from where the drop of blood enters the river, that it goes down, and you can actually start to see a small glow as it goes into the river. A few seconds pass, and you see a line of red kind of travel through the water, and once it hits the surface, it starts expanding.
Ah!
Can you still hear me if I'm talking? Okay, so the line of red hits the surface and it starts expanding, and you can see what looks to be blood start to cover the width of the water, and in the next 20 to 30 seconds, it rapidly expands as the entire river turns into blood.
How do I feel? How do I feel?
You feel okay, maybe a little concerned about what's about to happen, but
Can I do a perception check to see if there are like bugs flying across the sky toward us?
sure, yeah, you can check for anything in the area.
Has there anything changed?
Like, locusts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Whatever.
Is there anything
Fine.
There are
changed?
pillars of fire raining down from the sky.
23.
23.
A large three-masted ship comes into view off of the horizon from the south, away from the temple. With a 23, you see this. You wouldn't have noticed it earlier.
In the sand?
You wouldn't have noticed it earlier if it weren't for the harsh rumbling sound it was starting to make that you can hear from here. The other two of you can't hear that yet. It's an odd sight, as it's the first time that you've seen something so large traverse the skies.
Oh, shit.
Hey, that's good.
So I instantly let them know about this.
Sure. You two look over, and you can see that there is what looks to be a large ship traversing the skies.
That's Drygulch. Drygulch has ships.
As it approaches, you can see two more large masts protruding out of the sides of the ship with large metal blades spinning at impossible speeds. The ship coasts over the horizon northward, leaving a black trail of smoke. It doesn't seem to approach you at all, but it crests the horizon and continues to the east, out of view.
Did we see any markings, any town sigils, any?
It was much too far away.
It approached from where?
It was going from the south, heading northeast.
I am going to go ahead and dip my finger in the blood and see if it's actually like watered down blood, straight up blood. Just
before you do that, I will say that as you guys were distracted by the ship, you bring your attention back to the river, and the odor becomes horrific.
okay.
As the stench of death just starts emanating from the river. You see a lot of the fish, Amora, that you saw underneath the river start to float to the top and just sit. As you see more and more large tuna and smaller school fish kind of float up to the top dead as they stand on the surface of the water. There's a low rumbling near the base of the pyramid just behind the statue as part of the pyramid lifts up, presenting an entryway about 10 feet off the ground. So there's a 10-foot doorway now open on the east side of the pyramid next to the stairs.
But we would have to go through that area that was ouchy.
Well, he touched the temple's side, the side of the temple.
So maybe he gave a blood sacrifice to said temple.
Wow, this isn't ominous or anything.
So, did Hadvar actually touch the blood after smelling or whatever in whatever?
Yo, after the smell happened, I recanted that decision.
Yeah, I gotta say I don't really like the idea of swimming through.
Well, here's the thing,
Yeah.
guys. I'm already over here.
But guys,
Yeah, but
look,
like,
this is open.
Both of us and Scythe coming to you and what is probably a really bad choice, or you coming to us.
Hadvar, the door opened.
Oh, well, then I guess that's very easy for me to decide where to go.
Ooh. He's got to go around.
He's on the east side. You guys are all on the eastern side of this pyramid. He just has to walk down towards the opening.
I'm on the inside of the moat.
Yep.
You said the moat is...
They're on the outside of the moat.
Correct. But you're all on the east side of the pyramid.
Did that thing that popped open, did that create a bridge over the moat?
No. No,
So
it like slid up the temple.
I see. So we would still need to traverse through this blood to get to the other side.
They would, yes. Unless they can jump a 10-foot gap. I don't know.
I feel like Scythe might be able to.
Maybe. Maybe with a running start.
With a running start, 10 feet's not actually...
No. No, 10 feet's not terrible. 10 feet's not that far, all things considered.
I mean, your normal running jump is what?
Oh, man. Jump.
I'm looking that up right now.
Okay.
Strength determines how far you can jump.
Yes.
Well, I'm screwed.
Oh, wait. Then it might be easier for me to leave.
When you make a long jump, you cover a number of feet up to your strength score if you move at least 10 feet on foot immediately before the jump.
Up to your strength score? So you're telling me I can jump 18 feet?
You can jump 20. You can jump 30 feet.
Oh, you're right.
Wait, can Hadvar with his awesome belt, can he carry us? Because I'm technically
You can try.
drow, and this is a small man.
I could throw them.
You can try, yes. Hadvar, would you like to jump across the 10-foot gap?
Hold on. Let me see.
Like the
However you guys want to try to do this. 10 feet is not that terrible.
All right. Well, I'm gonna send my owl in, just in the very,
Into the temple?
like I'm like the very.
See,
I'm just kidding.
That
You
doesn't make sense to
You
me.
can send him in.
That doesn't make sense to me because. So. Oh well, his strength score is 12. Never mind. All right.
So you can jump 10 feet, and I can jump 8 feet. Is that what
With
we're
a with a running start, yes.
All right.
I can't make it.
So without a running start, what would it be? Half of that, I guess.
I'd do an athletics check to see if you could, because a broad jump is never going to be as far as a running jump.
When you
Would
make
you need
a
an athletics check from me?
When you make a standing long jump, you can leap only half that distance.
There you go.
All right. So I
Makes
can do a
sense.
standing long jump of 15 feet.
Yes.
Okay.
So-
then I'm going to jump over.
You watch Hadvar kind of sink down and just give a like a very Hulk, and he slams down on the other side. Your boots hit the sand and cause like a splash of sand. Some of it goes into the water. Some of it goes onto Scythe. You see him kind of do the shake it all off. And
And then
you're
I'm
on the
going
other
to
side
immediately
easily.
just grab Barrow by the scruff and just toss him over.
Do you resist?
Like, brace yourself.
I mean, I feel like
Resistance might be futile.
as a reflex, I probably would be like, wait.
Go ahead and make a strength roll for me, please.
Who?
Hadvar.
Oh. Come on, don't fail me now, dice.
Nat 1.
Choke slams Barrow into the ground.
That's going to be a... Do you just want athletics or strength? Well, it's the same thing. 23.
Where are you aiming? Are you just aiming like on the other side?
No, like I'm trying to basically, like getting him just over the water so he
Okay. Barrow, I need you to make. You'll be fine. I was gonna make you make a dex save, but I think you're deft enough to catch yourself as you are hoisted and thrown across a 10-foot stream of blood. You land on the other side, and your hands go against the temple to stop yourself, and you kind of right yourself and brush yourself off, and everything seems okay.
And then I'm going to
I rolled a 19 when I thought that you were asking me to make a strength roll, so.
Yep,
and then
all good.
I will more tenderly get Amora and like by like the hips kind of just.
I mean,
She puts her arms out like Superman because she is so excited for
like
it.
just Hulk jump with her under your arm.
I was gonna do that with Scythe because I like animals.
Scythe can. I think Scythe can make that jump. He's got 40 feet of movement and 12 strength, so he would be able to clear
Be
it
able to do it.
2 feet.
Okay, well then yeah.
So
then he'll...
as Scythe watches you throw Barrow and then grab Amora, he like backs up and just runs and jumps across to get near Barrow again, and he makes it fine.
Then yeah, I'm just gonna put her like Shrek carrying Fiona out of the castle and just jump over.
Another athletics check, please.
Whee!
Say hi to everyone.
Roll high.
Be right back.
And that's another 23.
No,
I don't really have anything to
man,
like.
is this gonna? This
Yeah.
is gonna just be real bad, guys. This is gonna.
Have faith.
Hey, I have my Bahir.
I mean, you've seen the movie The Mummy, right?
Yeah, I loved it. Do we have a cat?
Do you know we did not look for if there was a diamond on top of that obelisk?
I thought that as like end of last session. I thought that.
What's that?
If there's a diamond at the top of this obelisk.
There is not.
Damn.
So you guys are all across the moat. What would you like to do? The stench is terrible.
I'm going inside.
Everyone's going inside?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. You pass the doorway and it stays open.
I'm gonna check the area for traps, like the mouth.
Yep.
Just
Go
inside.
and make an investigation check.
I'll do that as well.
Yeah.
That's going to be a 22.
Eight.
Okay. Hadvar kind of pushes you out of the way to make sure that you don't step on anything. There was a raised stone as you were entering, covered in sand, that he made sure that you avoided. However, Scythe puts his paw down on it anyway, and it was not a trap. But
The door.
he seems to be catching a lot that you are not, Barrow, right now.
Cool.
So as you guys move forward, you enter a relatively large space, and all of it is ornate with gem-encrusted columns made of gold reaching the ceiling, which is about 50 feet high. So the columns themselves are made of solid gold, and there seems to be gems encrusting them as they go all the way up.
Anything?
I wouldn't touch those.
Any inscriptions anywhere? Any?
Let me explain the rest of the room.
Oh, go ahead.
The walls have square holes every 15 feet with sand pouring out of them into the space. But it looks like they're falling into emptiness below. As you now realize, the entire outside of the room has about a 1 foot gap where all of this sand is pouring underneath the pyramid.
Yeah.
You also know that the air is full of specks of dust and sand, lighter than the air, floating through the space, causing visibility to be mildly restricted due to the density of the matter. But you can see this space of just these 4 golden columns up to a 50-foot ceiling. It seems like there's a few boxes laid around, chests. A few engravings on the columns would indicate something to do with the elements, as you can see scrawlings of fire and earth and water. You see it all written in Dwarven, however. Does anybody know Dwarven?
No, it would say, has it been an hour? 'Cause I can-
Yeah, it's still within an hour.
But
I don't.
Advar?
Nope. I know Common and Orc.
Wow, that makes sense. Yeah, Amora, as you go up and you touch,
I do, but I have to touch it. So I was seeing if any.
if you want to, if you want to touch any of the things that have words on them, I can explain to you what they say.
Okay. Yeah, it's like, because I want to know if this is. I don't want to do anything bad. So I'm kind of like, oh.
Sure. So you go up to one of the columns, and you can see that each column has an inscription on it in Dwarven for each of the 4 elements. In the center, there's a box or a chest, a large, like, I don't want to call it a treasure chest, but it's a large chest with a lock on it. It has an inscription on it as well. And you put your hand on that, and it says, "For the deceased," in Dwarven. And the rest of it is just kind of pictures. And as you look around this space, you can see the walls have Graic, the same depiction of the dwarf that was outside, kind of facing off against each of the elements on each of the 4 walls. But it doesn't look like it's in a fight. It looks like it's in a control.
So he's controlling the elements.
It looks like he has his hands out, and there might be, wind circulating around his arm. The fire, you can see him sitting in a ring of fire as he's kind of like meditating. You can see that it shows him like crafting a statue of his own, but he doesn't have any tools in his hands. It just shows him crafting another statue. And for the water, it looks like you can see, similar to the air, it's kind of careening around his arms as he's kind of like a Tai Chi pose, but it looks like the water is kind of revolving around him.
Do we see any pedestals or holes in the columns?
No holes in the columns. You do see, just barely through all of this dust, The air is very stale in here. It's kind of humid. As you walked into this space, it's a little harder to breathe, but it's a lot easier than staying in the stench that was outside. Through all of this haze, you can see there is a door on the far side of the room. As you guys are in this room, the specks start to move a little more rapidly on occasion, almost on their own volition. You'll see kind of like if they're falling or if they're just kind of doing this, you'd see them go.
Can I try to like
open?
Can I try to like just gently put my hand out and try to get some of them to stick to my hand? What happens when I move my hand through them?
You push it the same as you would see like dust or matter in the air when there's a lot of light visible, and you can feel sand as you do that, very, very softly.
And do I have any on my hand? Do I see it do that movement?
None
Like
of it
away from my hand?
none of it clings to your hand. It just kind of moves through the space, and you can see the air current that your hand makes, dizzies them for a second, and then they calm.
All right. Do I see them coalescing anywhere?
Everyone can make a perception check.
I got 12.
11.
That was a natural 3.
Oh, good. So as this continues, you see that all of them start to move in patterns similar to insects, and realize they are now, even though they most certainly weren't before. I need everyone to make a wisdom saving throw as you stand in this space.
This is a magical effect.
It is a magical effect, yes.
Yeah.
What kind
Barrow, that doesn't look good, Barrow.
Yeah, what kind of save?
Wisdom.
8.
14.
Okay.
9.
Scythe got a 21.
Scythe saves. The three of you start to get a horrible itching sensation
14.
on your scalp and on your arms and on your legs and on your torso and in the middle of your back. And the more you scratch, the itch gets worse. As you desperately try to make the feeling go away, especially in your scalp, thousands of lice pour out of your scalp as you scratch vigorously. You can see them jumping out of your hair and onto the floor, and you can see them all moving now. The insects start to kind of coalesce together, and as the image of these dust specks kind of forming into these swarms starts to materialize, it just as suddenly clears, and the gnats and lice and a gate at the far end of the room can be seen now where that door was. All of it clears. And so now the door is actually a crossbar gate that you can see if you go up to it. Do you?
Yeah.
You can see as you go up to this crossbar gate, it sinks into the ground, into the sand, but it looks like it would, raise and lower to block off passage to the next hallway.
Ugh.
You lift it?
I'm gonna try.
I was gonna look for a lever, on the
Too
other
late.
side.
Hadvar grabs these bars, and I will say that at the same time, you all hear a hum that eventually turns into a very loud buzzing emanating from the walls. Hadvar, you grab this gate, and with your strength, it is not an issue. You throw this gate up, you see it slide into the ceiling, and it locks so that the hallway is open to you. As you do that, you can turn to see which direction that buzzing would be coming from, and swarms of larger flies pour out of all of those holes from the walls where the sand was pouring out, like black clouds moving in your direction, all in tandem as if they share a hive mind.
Whoops.
What do you do?
Retreat further in?
You go into the hallway.
I
As you go through the gate and leave this, you can see all of the flies kind of coalesce into a large shape that eventually forms a giant spider where its body alone is 10 feet across. And you can see the flies making the legs, holding the rest of them up. And the sound that it makes is just this horribly loud buzzing sound that is starting to drive you crazy. But you leave that room. You do not interact with it. And the gate shuts. And you can see the flies kind of dissipate. And they go back into the holes in the walls.
All right, we know that's there.
well,
Hadvar, what the fuck?
listen.
Son.
So before we go through the scary gate thing with spider flies,
Spider fly. Does whatever.
are we wanting to see what's in this chest that says that it's?
You're out of that room.
Yeah,
You've
we're not in
left
that room
hall.
anymore.
You've,
I've
left that room and you're in the hallway. The gate has shut.
yeah,
I didn't go with him.
I've created an issue and I went ahead and solved
Are
it.
you still in the room with all the flies?
Well, they dissipated, right?
Not if you're still in there. I was under the assumption that everybody,
I
through
was
the
in
gate.
the hallway with Hadvar.
Barrow and Syph, are you still in that room with all those flies?
I guess. I don't know.
Okay, so we'll say that the gate did not shut. Hadvar and Amora, you're in this hallway, and you can see Barrow and Syph on the other side of this large mass of flies that form this giant spider.
Well then, shit. I guess.
I would like everyone to roll initiative.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess at one point I would have called "Let's get out of here," but
Blech.
I mean, you said they were going after Hadvar, so I just was like,
They
okay.
were moving in you general direction.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna touch anything in this thing. I've seen Aladdin.
I'm just
listen, guys. I didn't say this before, but you know, today's kind of a rough day for me. It's kind of my birthday. It's not very good day for me.
I wanted.
I'm feeling kind of restless. I'm sorry.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
You rolled twice.
Hadvar, what's your initiative?
My initiative is 11.
Barrow, what's your initiative?
25.
Ooh. Amora.
Well,
He
so
rolled-
I have advantage on initiative. I rolled 2 nat 20s in a row.
He's not. I'm like,
Very nice.
I was like, what? Why on this?
I love rolling natural 20s on initiative because it matters.
Right? Especially when I have a sword of sharpness that can cut off people's appendages. If I
Yeah.
nat 20s in a row.
Amora, what was your initiative?
21.
Okay.
21.
21. Hadvar. And spider. Okay. Barrow, you are approximately 15 feet away from this enormous spider made of flies. What would you like to do? The doorway, you have a clear path to go around this spider without any attacks of opportunity. The doorway sits about in a direct line 30 feet from you. So to go around the spider, you would have to do a 10-foot radius. So you'd have to move about 60 feet to get there.
I mean, are we running?
They're both in the hallway like,
Oh, that's right. You guys are already there. All right. Well, then I'll just hop on to Syph and have him dash and get there.
Okay. So Barrow hops on Syph and goes around the spider. Can you make another wisdom saving throw, please?
So,
Sure. That'd be a 9.
And 1 for Scythe.
That'd be even worse. That's a 7.
As you pass by, you realize that any closer to this spider would have been so bad that you may not have been able to move. But you go around him in a 15-foot radius safely, and you make it into that gated area. And once all 3 of you are in there, the gate shuts and the flies dissipate as I described before.
See, that's why Hagbar and I ran.
I mean, okay, out of character. This all happened like really fast, and there was this big chest there, and I'm like, hey.
Yeah, I did kind of just yeet those doors open. I probably should be a little bit more careful.
I don't control what you guys do.
Yeah. Ugh.
So-
I read a story once about a guy who was like going down like a hallway and like kicking doors open when everybody else was just wanting to like hang back, and then he got cut in half by like a blade that came through a door. I'm just saying.
I heard that story too. I don't remember where though. Huh? Weird.
It's a good story.
So, you guys are in this hallway, and you can see the next room about 20 feet off. As you approach it, cautiously, I'm sure. It is a smaller room,
Hagbar,
but no.
check for traps.
No,
What?
I'm kidding.
Are there any other like holes in the walls or anything here?
Not in this hallway. No, it is a stone hallway.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Or
Sorry, interrupting.
I guess it's technically clay, stone, whatever temples are made of. It is a smaller room that's in the next area, but it's no less opulent, with the walls embedded with more valuable gems amongst paintings and carvings. There is a raised stone circle in the middle of the room, 20 feet across, filled with water. So it is a large stone pedestal, 20-foot pedestal, filled with water. The entire room has a haze of steam and extreme humidity.
Huh.
And it's starting to kind of like, just touch the inside of this hallway, but it does not appear to be entering the hallway. It seems to be kept close to the water source.
Do we have anything that can like freeze water?
I can freeze daggers, ice knives. That's about it. I have an idea, guys, but I don't know. This might, you know what? This might not work out, but guess what? I think it might. So I'm gonna go ahead. Good logic, right?
Sounds great.
Yeah. All right. I am going to confer to one of my spell books. Hadvar's gonna pull out a book and he's gonna look into it and he's gonna wait a second. Let me make sure I remember how this thing works. I'm gonna sit there and. All right. I'm gonna move out. I'm gonna ask you guys to step back about 5 feet, 10 feet. Yeah. 10-foot radius is 5 feet on either side.
It depends on where. If it's centered on a point you choose, centered on you, a 10-foot radius would be 10 foot in every direction.
Okay, so I need everybody to step back 10 feet from me. And as I cast, I'm going to cast Warding Wind.
Okay.
On myself.
And that does.
I'm going to start stepping into this room. And this is what Warding Wind says. The wind has the following effects. It deafens me and the other creatures in the area, extinguishes unprotected flames in the area that are torch or smaller. It hedges out vapors, gas, and fog. that can be dispersed by a strong wind. Area is difficult terrain for creatures, and attack rolls of ranged weapons attacks have a disadvantage if the attacks pass in or out of the
Okay,
I'm going
so you
step
go in by
each-
yourself.
Yeah. I mean, if they want to hang back 10 feet, that's cool, but I'm going to see if this works.
So you two see Hadvar enter the space where the room opens up into this steam or haze. The wind, Hadvar, is deafening. You can't hear anything as it whistles through your ears. You put your head down, your face down, your hair is whipping around, and you kind of move slowly and cautiously into the space. As soon as your magic touches the mist, it seems to react to it as it pushes it, but it almost looks like it's trying to compete against you. And as you move into the space, just on the outside of your 10-foot radius, you can see the haze kind of swirl with the wind and try to push in on you, but it seems that your magic is keeping it at bay.
All right, so I'm
So
going to.
you two see Hadvar in the middle of this space in kind of this bubble of wind where all of this haze and mist looks like it's thicker around him as it's trying to push into this magical aura.
Has
How
it
long does this spell last?
Stop closing your spell book.
has it dissipated?
10
from-
minutes.
It has not dissipated at all. The space that he is creating this wind is clear in a 10-foot radius. So 20 feet in every, in a 20-foot diameter around Hadvar. It's clear. But all around him in this room seems to be this mist that's trying to push in, but is being kept at bay by this magic.
Can we? You said there's another chest in there.
No, there is a pedestal, maybe 3 feet off the ground. That's a 20-foot circle, and it's filled with water.
What else do I see around me?
You in the room, make a perception check. With, I won't give you disadvantage. Just roll a because you're in the room.
So that's going to be, you said perception. That's
Yes.
going to be a.
Oh, I don't.
How far did you say?
24.
What were we gonna ask?
How far did you say it was off the ground?
Like 3 feet. Hadvar, you can see etchings on the walls in here of different races. It looks like there are 2 dwarves, 2 Goliath, and 2 Tabaxi. In that order, kind of 2 dwarves, 2 Goliaths, 2 Tabaxi, and that image of them is on each of the 4 walls, and in the center of them is Graic. They all have their own adornments of armor and tattoos. All of them have shaved heads. Even the Tabaxi looks like it has a shaved head with arcane scrollings across its scalp.
So I can kind of take this as the contingency of folks from Faristar that kind of went with him. Am I remembering that lore correctly?
Yeah, and based on the inscription that Amora translated at the beginning, you know that he had a group called the Shield Breakers. You could assume that these may be them.
All right. Now, what do I see? I see this. Do I see anything other than that with this bowl of water?
So this 20-foot, it's a pool, essentially. But you can go over to this, and as you look down, it looks like the water goes very deep. It's not just like a 3-foot pool. It looks like this pool, this 3-foot platform, is a well of sorts as you look down into it.
Can I put my finger in the water and feel it? Like, I want to be like back of the hand to see if it's like.
Your
you
hand
know,
passes through the
Is it
apparent
like-
illusion of water.
Oh, so there's no water.
Looks like there's water, but your hand passes right through. It's very real. It looks like there's water in a well, but your hand passes right through it.
Is there another exit out of here?
No, the room actually ends. This is a dead end room. It's just the hallway back into the main room.
I'm gonna blink Atari to here, and I'm gonna send him down the well.
Okay. You send him down. He goes down without an issue. Are you going to warg?
Yeah, I'm gonna warg.
Does warging move your concentration?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I wouldn't.
It doesn't
I
say
wouldn't-
anything about that in Find Familiar about it being a concentration thing. It kind of reads that way, but without it saying concentration specifically, I'm not going to make him drop his spell. I'm not going to allow you to do something overtly harmful without explaining that it might be harmful.
Okay.
Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Anthony,
Yes.
you look really blown out right now.
Like very bright light.
Yeah, like crazy bright. Yeah, that's better. Okay.
It's because I have my notes on the computer, so
Oh,
I can read.
I was just like, man, what in the world? It looks like the sun is right next to him.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just reading my notes because I have them typed on the computer.
I got you. Cool.
Atari goes down into the well, and he goes down what seems to be about 40 to 50 feet until he opens out into another space. But it is pitch black.
Can he keep diving down?
He hits the floor.
Okay. Ouch. So it's a solid floor of 50 feet.
About 50 feet down there is floor, yes.
And you said where we entered the hallway, this is the only room. There's nothing on either end.
That's it. It was the gated hallway that you guys all ran from that spider made of flies into this room. But you two are still in the hallway, away from the nest.
How much more time do I have left?
7 minutes. It hasn't been that long.
All right. I would like to. I already I didn't investigate the room. I perceived the room. I would like to look around and see if there's anything else in this room that looks like it might be a hint to what this room is about. What this illusionary water's for. What this steam is like.
Okay. Roll your
something.
investigation. Keep that number. I want to give Barrow and Amora a turn at
Yeah.
doing something.
So, do we get the impression that this mist or steam or whatever it is going to be harmful if we touch it?
You have no idea. You can touch it.
Are there any inscriptions or pictures on the wall?
Where the hell is Katira when you need her?
Not in the hallway, Amora. It's too hard to see into the room.
Can I throw my globules of light into the room and kind of like?
It becomes harder to see as you light up the mist.
Okay, I'll.
Damn fog. Is there? So we don't know about the well,
Yeah, you can see it from the hallway.
Yeah,
but we don't know that it goes down.
You could.
You don't know that it's illusionary. You don't know that it's not water. You don't know that it goes down. Right now, it looks like a 3-foot pool, like a kiddie pool.
How
And I
far?
can try to tell you, but you wouldn't hear it.
How far is Hadvar away from me?
He's about 30 feet into the room, like covering half of the pool with his.
All right, I'm gonna talk to him telepathically.
Very good.
So, what's going on here?
Shit, I forgot you could do that. That freaks me out, Barrow. Yeah, it looks like we've got this pool is not a pool of water. It's like a 50-foot drop into a void, but there's it's a 50-foot and then solid rock. But that's all I've been able to figure out. I don't know if this steam is bad for me, but I'd rather not test it while I'm out here in the middle of it. I'm sitting around looking here to find any type of clue.
Anything bad?
What?
Does it look like it's trying to do anything bad to you?
I mean, it looks like it wants to get me, and usually things that want to get me aren't that good. I don't have that kind of luck.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good. And then I say to Amora, yeah, don't touch the steam.
But it
Don't
looks
touch
so nice.
Yeah, don't touch it.
It's like a sauna in here.
It's like a sauna in
It's
here.
like a sauna in
Alright,
here. That's my next character voice, right?
Oh
there.
God!
Oh no!
Dead. In session 0, I would kill that character.
Okay, can I look around to see if there's anything that I would be able to tie a rope to in the hallway?
The gate. Yep, the gate.
The gate that was from the other room, you're saying?
The one that's like right behind you where the spider fly thing was.
Spider-fly. And how far away is that?
Like right behind you.
Okay. So I have 90 feet of rope because I cut 10 feet of it off to avoid being, So.
You Indiana Jones'd your way.
Yes.
Yeah. In the mountains, you missed a very cool combat scenario where he pythoned his rope to the ground, ran, using Zephyr Strike, ran through all of the bad guys without invoking opportunity attacks, and then jumped off the side of this bridge into the abyss of 1,000 feet drop and yanked everybody off the bridge with the rope. Pretty dope.
And almost died.
And definitely almost died.
Yeah.
And almost killed Ursurith.
Yeah, so some mining tracks decided that they were going to collapse, and then they were going to pull me, and it was kind of like Die Hard style, where I was like,
Shaft, yeah, I like it.
So how far, if I would get to the edge of that door, how far am I from the pool?
Yeah, like where the steam is rolling in?
Where that 3-foot pole, how far away from the edge of the door, the entrance of that room to that pool?
30 feet. It's a 30-foot hallway, and then there's a 30-foot space to the pool. So I would assume that Barrow walked up to the edge of the mist and was like, hey, Hadvar, blah, 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 and then went back to tie his rope.
So what I'm going to do is
that's not going to work, though.
No, but if you've communicated to me that maybe he sent Atari down.
Do you have rope?
I do. Well, I think we all have rope. I think I at least have 50 foot of rope.
Yeah, I have 50 feet.
Fucking rope for?
If
I haven't seen that in a while.
If Hadvar had told us about this, I may try to aim my dancing lights into the well because it's 120 feet. And I can move them.
All right, I'm taking her rope off of her pack because she's otherwise.
Okay.
And I'm tying that together. So now we have
Hadvar, you have 2 minutes left.
140 feet of rope.
Okay.
So I'm tying that to the gate. I'm coming back over, and I telepathically say to him, hey, can you come pick us up? I've got rope so that we can get back out of here.
He's going to send us flying.
Yeah. Well, no, it's going to be difficult terrain for you. It's difficult for terrain for everybody, but
your super strength.
If I am not in combat, the whole party can move through difficult terrain without issue.
all right. Well, let me come back.
I guess.
I'm going to come. That's fun.
I know the ranger ability. It's just like, all right, that's fine.
I'm gonna come back. Come out of this mist.
Okay.
And let my spell end.
Okay.
And I'm gonna look at this mist. And I'm gonna take my already fucked up hand.
Oh, the one with the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm gonna put my hand to the steam just to see.
Spider fly. No.
you put your hand into the steam and you turn it over. You can see the insignia that was branded on your palm kind of pulse as if it had its own life, like its own veins kind of went thump bump on your hand. The mist itself is a lot warmer. It is like a sauna, but you withdraw your hand and it stops pulsing.
I'm gonna check the pulsing thing again.
You put your hand in and the brand pulses again. That's not a good feeling, the pulsing. It's not like, ooh, that tickles.
Is there any magic? Can try to any magic in this room?
It has been way longer than 10 minutes for your detect magic.
I would redo it as a ritual for 10 minutes.
You want to take 10 minutes in this hallway?
Might as well see what the heck's going on. Or I could retcon and say that's what I was doing while
Sure, that makes way more sense. I would be okay with saying that. So while Barrow was doing his rope thing, you were ritual casting detect magic, and all of the mist kind of lights up this iridescent green color to you. And the pool itself, what little of the water that you can see, emanates a very bright blue aura.
Do I know colors? Is it more
It tells you what school of magic it is, correct?
Yeah, because blue is.
It sounded funny. You're like, do I know colors?
You know that the water is illusion magic, and you know that the mist is evocation magic.
Oh, wonderful. I know all about evocation magic.
Oh yeah, evocation.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Evocation magics, they're just the best.
Hadvar,
Yeah, yeah.
if you cast that thing again, how is there any room in there for us?
I mean,
Like,
yes,
walk
there is, but it took a lot out of me. I would say it took about one third of that amount of ability that I have.
How far from the doorway to the pool is it? I think
30 feet.
30 feet.
Okay, screw this. Leroy!
All right, wait. I'm gonna hold one end of the rope. Yeah, put the rope on him. I'm gonna kind of like with it still tied to the thing. I'm gonna kind of like give him some slack and let him run out.
Okay. Barrow, you run into the mist, and when you first make contact with it, there's a heat wave. Now you're only running 30 feet, so there's a lot that happens in this 30 feet. You run into the mist, and there's this heat wave in the first two steps. In steps 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, your skin becomes insanely hot. Your flesh begins to burn white hot all over. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Can I see this?
That is 22.
You save from whatever magical effect was trying to pierce your body. As you run through, you can feel the hot pain of whatever this is, and you jump into the water.
Yep.
You jump in and you start falling. The pain.
I have the rope with me.
That's fine. There's a lot of slack, 140 feet of it.
Yeah, I'm watching this, and I know that I have 50 feet, and I'm letting go of about 40 feet.
Okay, so Hadvar, you grab it when you see him jump.
When I see him jump, I slow down the course so that I lower him in.
Okay, I want to put this out there. I tied it to the gate, 30-foot hallway,
Yeah.
30 feet to the pool. That's 60.
Yeah.
And 50 feet down.
Yeah.
That's 110. So there
Yeah.
should only be 20 feet extra.
That's fine, but you still have to make that drop, and you don't know how long that drop is, so you're starting to fall down this hole
But
at
I know how
gravity
long.
speed.
But
Okay.
I know how long it is, and as soon as I see him go into the pool, I'm gonna start slowing him down.
Sure, you grab the rope and you get a little rug burn. It's not that bad, but you start lowering. Barrow, you hit the side of this tunnel downwards a little bit, not enough to sustain any well, 2 damage.
Cool. I'm unconscious, guys.
What? So you, Hadvar just tried to grab onto it fairly quick to make sure that you didn't splat yourself on the ground below. You hit the side, but you are slowly lowered down, Hadvar, until you feel it kind of slack, and Barrow, you feel the ground as you are on the floor.
I'm gonna give it like a tug.
Tug, tug, tug.
All right. I think he made it.
Okay. Well,
I'm instantly like scanning the room around me to see if there are any threats. Okay.
No threats, no immediate threats. You are not attacked.
Is Scythe with me?
It is? Yes, he is.
All right.
Scythe starts to move into the mist to follow Barrow.
all right. Before
I'm gonna.
do that.
Did I see what happened to Barrow?
Ugh. Make a perception check. You were watching him pretty intently, but this is a magical effect, so you'd have to be able to. You know what? Make that roll an insight check.
Oh, dope. 17.
You could see that it was not comfortable moving through the mist, and he might have yelled in pain once. Bless you.
All right. Yeah. I'm gonna kind of like put my hand on Scythe's head to kind of like pet him.
Yeah. You hear him start to whine and look up at you, and then look at the mist, and look up at you, and look at the mist, and he's.
And I'm gonna be like, we're gonna go with him. We're gonna go get him.
Since I did detect magic, do I see any switches? Do I see any? There's no stones. There's
Nope.
no.
I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna pull the rope back out. I'm gonna kind of tug to. I'm trying to get Barrow to realize that I'm trying to pull the. No, you know what? I'm not gonna do that. I'm actually gonna take the extra slack of rope, and I'm gonna pull it over my head and wrap it around me, so I kind of have like, I don't know what the knot is called, but basically I want it to be able to move freely, kind of like how rock climbers have.
Yes.
So like it's wrapped around me, but I can hold on to.
So the knot moves with you as you go through the rope.
Yes. And I'm going to scoop up Amora on one arm. I'm going to grab up Scythe, and I'm going to cast Warding Wind one more time.
Okay.
And I'm going to go for the well.
Okay. So you cast Warding Wind. Amora, you are deafened by this cacophonous wind as it's just blowing and whistling through your ears, and your hair is going all over the place. You can't hear anything. Hadvar, you make your way through the room, and you can see this mist start to encroach on you again and try to push through the wind wall. As you move through the space, you make it to the well, and you start to rappel down, but your hands are full. You're sitting on the edge. Your feet are in the water, and you're holding Scythe.
I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna wrap my legs up in the thing, and I'm gonna scuba dive backwards.
Boy, what kind of check is that? Holy moly!
I'm gonna wrap the rope around my leg. I'm gonna
say make a general intelligence check to make sure you don't like tourniquet yourself.
That is going to be. That's 11.
You're holding Amora and Scythe. You wrap your leg around it. You have the knot around your waist. You have the rope around your leg, and you scuba dive backwards, and now you're hanging at the top of this well upside down.
This is a problem. Well, are they... All right, I'm going to... Do I see the steam coming at us anymore?
Amora feels the rope and grabs it and starts to try to lower herself. Do you let go of her?
Do I see the steam still trying to get through? Is there steam in the well?
Nope.
Okay, I'm going to drop my thing.
Okay.
I'm going to drop it, and then I'm going to ask Amora, do you got it?
I think so. I probably don't, but I see that he's got sight, so that's all that matters.
I'm going to yell down to Barrow. I said, hey, we're coming down.
You hear that, Barrow.
All right.
Point of order. Let's go to Barrow's side of things while all of that happened. Barrow, you are in pitch blackness. Do you have dark vision?
I do not.
Do you have any way to cast any kind of light in the room that you would like to do?
I have torches.
Do you want to use one?
I do. I pull my rifle off of my back and I switch on the light.
Very nice. Okay, I was wondering if you would remember that you had it. So the spell light is cast at the end of your rifle as it emits a 20-foot beam of light as opposed to a radius of light. As you scan the room, you can see that the room is pyramid shaped, with the center point being the well.
Okay.
There is a door 10 feet in front of you with an inscription on it, which is the exact same symbols that you saw on the outside of the temple. The door itself...
It looks identical to the writing?
Identical.
The
Same language. It's the same symbols that you saw earlier.
So I know this to mean burial site of Drygulch and his shield breakers.
Correct.
Okay.
The door itself is not an actual door. It's a stone recess in the wall that looks like it could be a door, but you're unsure how to activate it. And right now you're just kind of hanging out. If there's anything you want to do in this room in the meantime.
I will wait for them to get down. Right now, I kind of want to post up and just be looking for any sort of anything that might be trying to sneakily make its way over to us.
This is a 10 by 10 room that you've dropped into. It's very small. I guess it's 20 by 20 technically. So it's a smaller room than the one above with that door in front of you. You dropped into the center of it. It's 10 feet in front of you. So you have 10 feet in a circle around you.
All right, if that's the case, can I start investigating for traps that might be on the floor, like right around where we would come down? Like,
Okay.
I want to make sure that if we start moving toward this door, that there aren't going to be any, like, pressure plates, anything like that.
Sure. Go ahead and roll an investigation check.
18.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I think that is my DC.
Ooh. Very nice.
You look like you're about to get hit by a semi.
Whoa, no! Yeah, so you find 2 traps. You're not sure what they do, but you've marked them so that they are not triggered.
It's a trap.
Okay, so they are on the floor.
Yes, both of them.
Okay. So once I mark those or whatever, can I start scanning the rest of the room, investigating the rest of the room to see if I can find adding traps near the door, and also to see if I can find some sort of switch or something that would allow us to open that door.
Yes.
Yes.
Make
Same
another.
Same investigation.
Make another one because you're looking for something different now.
Okay.
You've avoided 2 traps completely that were in this small space, and now you're looking for something to activate the door. As he's doing that, Hadvar, Amora, Saif, you are now descending into the space.
15.
You don't see a way to open the door. You can hear something on the other side of it, though, which sounds like I mean, it's pretty obvious. It sounds like a thunderstorm.
Great. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got right now.
Okay, so you all make it into the space below. Barrow shows you the 2 traps that he marked off to make sure that you do not trigger them. They are both pressure plates, and they are the direct path to the door. So you guys skirt around them easily enough. You make your way over to the door.
Any magic presence in this room?
You would have to spend another 10 minutes to cast Detect Magic.
Is there any way I can get my hands into something that I can lift, or push, or pull?
Hold on. Let me check that.
I'm looking. I'm not gonna do it yet, but I am looking to see if there's like any way.
Okay, you guys, you can make an investigation check. Amora, if you're gonna do another Detect Magic, you can sit for 10 minutes in this space. After 5 minutes, you can hear what sounds like hissing,
Snake hissing or steam hissing?
like snake hissing.
Wonderful.
Why
I got a
does it have to be
15.
snakes?
You don't find
Snake.
any space for your fingers that would fit.
I guess I'll
The
just have
snake
to
sound
make
is
some.
from the other side of the door.
I'm sorry?
The snake sound is coming from the other side of the door, or
No, thunderstorm on the other side of the door. Snakes are coming from the back of the room.
Oh, you didn't say that. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for snakes now. I got my dark vision.
You don't see anything at the moment. You can also notice that this area is more oppressive than your average dark. So
This
your
is
dark
not
vision is
regular
cut off.
darkness.
Your dark vision is cut off at a shorter point, but this room is so small that you're able to still see the whole room. You do not see any snakes, but you do notice on the back wall that there's about a half of a 6-inch gap in the floor and the back wall.
I'm gonna put a globule of light at each corner.
As you do that, the globules of light are way dimmer than they should be. They give off about 5 feet of space, or 5 feet of light, excuse me. And you can put them over by the back wall, and you can see that gap where the back wall should meet the floor. There's a space there.
Well, like in the first room.
Yes, but smaller.
Can we cover that shit up?
I can cast bonfire and put it on top of that thing.
I will say that the door has the inscription. Now that you guys are down here, the door has the exact same inscription on it for the entrance to the pyramid.
The one that says the resting place.
The burial
of
site, yes.
Burial site.
Burial
I'm
site of
written
Greg
this
and
down.
his shield breakers.
Okay.
What do I know about his shield breakers?
Not a lot. You know that he led an army against the Primordials, but not anything about a group called the Shield Breakers. Based on the previous history checks.
I'm gonna take out my dagger.
Yep.
Mundane, not storm dagger.
Okay.
Just to be clear. And I'm going to prick my thumb and put it on the door.
As you do that, before your thumb even touches the door, you can see the trail of blood that was coming down your thumb kind of lift off, and it throws itself at the door. And as it hits the door, all the writing in primordial kind of fills itself with your blood, and the door lifts the same as the outside of the temple as it raises up. And before you, you see clouds, hail, and lightning strikes as a thunderstorm in a very small hallway is about 60 feet long. I'm sorry. It's 90 feet long. And there is an opening unobstructed on the other side with light at the end of this tunnel.
Guys, I've heard that you're not supposed to go toward the light. That's bad. That means die.
So if I were, I don't think Amora would know this. I think Barra would know this more than Amora. That from where we dropped, where we entered, where are we coming up? Like on the outside of the pyramid, or was it coming up towards the water, or like
You have no idea where you are inside this temple.
Yeah, like positioning wise. Okay.
Because it happened so quickly, it's hard for you to figure out, wait, how far did I go in? Where is this tunnel at? Because it's a large pyramid. And you gather that this is one of many routes that may have been taken. From the first room.
Was there another door in the first room? I guess we never looked.
You never looked. You didn't spend a lot of time in that first room.
Sorry, guys.
Well,
So you're saying it's a 90-foot hallway?
Yep, and it's 5 feet wide. But it looks like there are storm clouds that line the roof of this. And every once in a while, you'll see a lightning strike hit the ground and allow a large clap of thunder, and there's just hail hitting the ground. Oddly enough, as it hits the ground, it completely dissipates.
Is there a pattern?
No.
But
It's a thunderstorm. It's a hailstorm. The hail is about this big.
You said it's 90 feet?
Yep, 90 feet long.
Oh. Well,
the hissing now grows loud enough that when you turn behind you, you can see 3 snakes emerge from the crack in that floor and come into the space and kind of rear up. And you can see them kind of fan out as you realize that these are cobras.
I'm a fireball one.
Fireball?
Oh, no. Bolt. Ugh.
Okay, roll an attack.
But they're coming out all this whole line, right?
That's a 9.
It misses and strikes the back wall, and you see it open its mouth and hiss at you as its tongue protrudes and venom drips from its fangs. You notice that it starts to grow larger. That the form of the snake starts to grow.
oh shit.
And in fact, all 3 of them start to grow.
I cast Zephyr Strike on myself.
Okay?
And I'm going to, if I can, again, I'm going to cast Ice Knife at a first level spell slot.
Let's let Barra do what he wants, and then we'll let you roll another.
No, because last time we didn't all say what we wanted to do. I just
Sure.
want to make sure.
Sure.
After Barra's
That's
done,
fair.
I'm going to do that.
That's fair. I appreciate it.
I'm going to cast Zephyr Strike, and I am running down the hallway toward the other side to see if I can find a switch.
With Zephyr Strike and a dash action, how far can you get?
120 feet.
You
Actually, 100 feet. Sorry.
make one dexterity saving throw, please, as you sprint through this.
Unnatural 20.
You speed through this. You feel the rain pelt your face, and it doesn't hurt because these giant hail is striking you, but because of the speed that you're moving and the rain hitting your face is just stinging. Feels like little bugs hitting you in the face. But as you sprint through, you see one lightning strike, two lightning strikes, three lightning strikes hit right behind your heels as you're going through, and you make it to the other end of the hallway and come out into a space filled with light. And you're in the next room.
Okay. Can I do an investigation check around like the entrance to see if there is some sort of switch that I can dispel the lightning stuff?
I would say that's a full round of action. You sprinting through, casting Zephyr Strike, and moving. So as these snakes are growing larger, Hadvar, you cast Ice Knife.
Yes.
Amora, is there anything you would like to do? And is there anything Scythe is doing?
I will cast my. Well, I think I only get that once.
Scythe is going to move and dash to come toward me.
How far can he get? 80 feet?
Correct.
Make 3 dexterity saving throws for Scythe, please.
$18.
Okay.
Unnatural 20. And 19.
Similar to you, he sees you take off and you kind of call him to you, like, come on, boy. And he sprints through as he gets through this hallway. Very similar. Hail starts striking around him. The lightning bolts, 1, 2, 3, right behind his heels. One of them catches maybe a hair on his tail as he yelps and jumps through the rest of the hallway and leaps into your arms, soaking wet and smelling like wet dog.
Oh.
I love it. This is a good boy.
Hadvar, did you get your ice knife off?
Yes. Wait.
And?
Where did my dice go? 25 to hit.
Oh.
That strikes the one in the center as you see the ice knife plunge itself into its torso and then explode, hitting the other two. Roll damage.
That's a 7 for the ice knife itself.
Okay.
And then 6. I'm sorry. They all make dex saving throws.
Uh, 13, 14, and 17.
All right. So the one with 13 takes 6 cold damage. And then the rest are good.
Don't take any damage?
Apparently not.
Oh. It's a first level spell. That's one of my favorite first level spells.
Yeah.
I gotta say.
Okay. Yeah.
As you strike them, you see the one recoil, and then the one next to him take a little bit of the collateral damage as they continue to grow for another round. They've reached about 20 feet in length as they coil on the ground and raise up. Their body is about 20 feet long, but they're kind of hunched and coiled, and you see the fans on their neck billow out as they hiss at you and start making their way towards you two.
How close are they together?
They're all 5 feet apart, so like 5, 5, and 5. It doesn't look like the ice knife did that much damage to him.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna fucking just.
Just ice knife. Oh no!
And I'm gonna put my shield over my head as I'm running.
Okay, so interesting. Okay, so you're gonna run for 30 feet, and then the next round you would dash, I assume. So you have a speed of 30, correct? I need you to make 4 dexterity saving throws, please.
Gross. Alright, let's see how many times I'm going to die today. Oh, great.
Amor, what are you doing?
Well, I was going to attack the snake, but now that I see
Hadvar run.
run,
Are you gonna run as well?
I'm running. Oh, you're not talking to me.
Yes? What do you think?
well,
That's not a very good face.
see him running. Well, he attacked, so I don't see him run until what, the end of his.
Until the end of that turn. So if you want to attack, you can attack.
I was gonna. And how far away are they from us?
20 feet. It's a 20-foot room.
When you said 20-foot snakes, I'm like, no. No.
They come out of this wall and they start growing. They take up half the room because they're all next to each other, and they start growing, and they.
Okay, I'm going to cast bonfire right in front of them.
Okay. A 5-foot bonfire, yes.
Bonfire fills a 5-foot cube. If they go through it, they have to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. And then.
Or take 1d8 fire damage.
You can roll 1d8 fire damage on the center one.
Cool. This was a good decision.
Is it a 1?
Okay. Total of 8 damage. Because
it looks completely unfazed.
Yeah.
You can see the fire burn it as it goes through the logs and the coals. You see that it does damage, but it doesn't even look remotely concerned as all 3 of them move in your direction.
All right, I see Hadvar going, so I'm going to use. How far can I go?
30 feet since you've used an action on this turn.
Well, as a bonus I was going to run and then Misty Step bonus action. Try to get at least part of the way through it.
Okay, so that's 60 feet of movement, right?
Yeah. My run plus 30.
Yep, so 60.
Yeah, so then.
And then you would just continue through the hallway for the next round?
Yeah.
Okay. So you cast Bonfire. You see them start to close in. You do not get in range of them at this point in time. As you start to run 30 feet and Misty Step, you only have to do 3 because you actually teleported and not physically ran through it. So roll 3 dexterity saving throws. Oh dear.
17.
Okay.
14.
That just saves.
And the other one does not.
Okay.
11.
Dead. Oh, dead.
As you're running through, very similar to what you saw everybody else, you run 1 strikes behind you, 2 strikes behind you. The third one strikes behind you, and you think you've made it, right when you get slammed with about 4 or 5 of these giant pieces of hail, you take 11 points of bludgeoning damage as it strikes you in the back of the head, cutting open the skin a little bit as you tumble into the next room.
Oh, I thought it was going to be a lightning strike.
Mm-mm. She
I mean,
teleported.
Fuckers.
Yeah.
I was picturing like the cat in Christmas Vacation after it bites the wires, where it like
Yeah.
see the skeleton for a little bit, and then yeah.
So now that all of you are in the next space, the last room opens into a large cap.
Eight?
You didn't take my rolls.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah. I'm mad that I reminded you because they're terrible, but
That's okay. No, it's honest playing.
2,
Oh no.
Okay.
8,
Oh,
Okay.
No.
8,
Oh.
Buddy.
and 7.
Shield that you can
All right.
Did his shield do anything for him?
just can Hadward like
No, it's metal.
If anything, I just created a lightning pole for myself.
Oh, buddy.
You take max damage.
Oh.
Oh dear. It's a lot of 6s.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah. That's not fair.
What is it?
That's a lot. That's
What is it?
37 points of damage. 30 of it is lightning. 7 of it is bludgeoning. As you run through, you see Hadvar go run, 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 and then get slammed with all of this hail as he falls right behind Namora. You see little smoke trails come off of him. Yeah.
Oops. You know what? This is what happened the last time I tried to run through a lightning storm.
Yep. Yep. You know, it's the second time I used the exact same trap, and it just doesn't work for you.
No, it's
Just that's your kryptonite.
But that's what I have. I have my staff. Save me, staff.
If you would have raised the staff, that might have changed things, but you raised your shield.
Oh, well, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, well, I didn't think about it.
Well, is that technically a magical effect? Yes. So then I should because I have advantage on magic that saving throws against magic because of my cloak.
Because of the Archmage robe.
Yeah. So I'm gonna re-roll that one that.
Yep, just roll one more.
Nope. What? Nope.
Okay. Very good. So, this last room, you see a square, it's just a normal squared out room. It's fairly large though. And you can see candelabra, well, not candelabra, sconces on the wall lighting the space.
Okay.
There's one hole in the roof where sand slowly trickles out, but a ray of sunlight shines on a casket atop a staircase. In this space, there are 8 stairs that are spaced apart 10 feet from each other. Each stair is 10 feet from the next. And each stair is larger than the average stair. It's almost like a platform rather than a stair. So it's kind of like a small foot dais, and then another foot, and then another foot. Each stair is a foot on its own. So it's a little larger than normal.
You said there's a hole above.
Yeah, there's a hole in the roof where sunlight is shining onto a casket at the top.
While we're doing this, I'm going to go ahead, as soon as we get out to the other side, I'm going to second wind real quick.
Go for it.
I gain 18 life back.
Nice. Not bad. Most notably in this space, The casket that the sunlight shines on seems to be made of solid platinum with ornate engravings and carvings along the lid. Every 10 feet on every other stair sits a casket of gold on both sides of the stairs. So if this is the staircase, the first platform has a casket of gold on either side. Skip a step, casket of gold. Skip a step, casket of gold. Skip a step, platinum casket. So 6 gold and 1 platinum.
Oh. So are there 8 platinum caskets in total, or this is like pyramid in the middle of the room?
There's a staircase in front of everyone. On the first stair, there is a gold casket on the left and the right side that borders that first stair.
Oh, okay. So as we're entering the room, it
goes up.
You have to go. Okay.
There's a large amount of space in between you guys and the first stair, about 40 feet. 25 feet, excuse me, between you and the first stair. And then on that first platform, there are 2 gold caskets on the left and right side. There's 2 gold caskets on the third stair, 2 gold caskets on the 6th stair, and then 1 platinum casket at the very top.
Now, the ones that are on the stairs, is there a path in between them, or it's something that we would have to crawl over?
The stairs are 40 feet wide, and then the caskets sit on the outside of those stairs, kind of on their own platform. Like they're not on the actual stairs. They have like a separate raised platform on their own.
Okay. Cool.
Behind the platinum casket is the same sculpture of Drygulch that you saw on the outside. On the walls, next to each of these caskets, Hadvar, you see what you saw in the steam room, the sauna. You see the figures standing next to each of their own caskets. I can describe each of them to you if you want to take the time to do that, or I can just leave it at that.
No, you got the Tabaxi, Goliath, and dwarves.
2 dwarves, 2 Tabaxi, 2 Goliath, and then Drygulch at the top.
Can we see this?
You guys see it in this room, but you didn't know it existed in the last room.
Okay. What do they look like?
The 2 dwarves look very, very similar to Drygulch. One of them holds 2 warhammers, 1 in each hand, and he has a beard that in three braids, and his mustache is braided on either side as well. So 5 braids that hang beneath his chin. And on the other side, you see a dwarf carrying 2 shields. The next platform is the 2 Tabaxi. One of them.
The dwarves are the first level.
Correct.
Okay.
I'm sorry. The Goliath, the 2 Goliath are on the next level.
Okay.
One of them is sitting in like a standing half Indian style pose with his hands kind of placed like this over his chest. I will try to do it without falling. Like one of these deals.
Okay.
And you see that he is bare-chested and wears very, very, like, floofy pants.
Yeah, floofy.
Quite floofy. And you see the other one that stands tall with his chin raised, but he has a large cloak that covers half of his face and a large cape that billows behind him. On the third set of caskets are the two tabaxi. These are tabaxi that you've never seen before. These are tabaxi races that you never knew existed. The one is a hulking figure of muscle and armor, carrying a large maul similar to Drygulch. It is a Persian cat with one of the smushed faces and like the heavy jowls and like the long hair. But it stands about 7 feet tall on the wall, and you see it's very broad-shouldered and is just muscle on top of muscle. No neck because of the height of the neck muscles.
That's how I like my cats.
On the other side, you see one that looks almost gaunt, almost death-like, as a Siamese tabaxi, hairless, with runes covering his entire body. He wears half of what would be robes, but it looks like it was cut off at the waist, and it's just robes covering his legs. And you see engravings and sigils all over his torso, similar to Drygulch. Very Nobis looking, but definitely a tabaxi. And then Drygulch standing at the top with his giant maul.
Okay.
So that is the room that you are in.
So, okay, wait. I thought there were 4 steps with gold caskets. Is it only 3 steps? Or 3 steps that have gold caskets on them?
Correct. So it's 6 and 1. There's 7 caskets in this room.
Okay. So on the first step, dwarves, third step, Goliath, 5th step, tabaxi, and then there are 1, 2, 3, 4 3 steps in between there and the
raised platform, which looks like it goes back quite a ways.
It's 6.
It looks like that top platform is about 30 feet, where that statue sits at the back wall.
I want to inspect the caskets. How large are the caskets?
Humanoid sized.
Well, I mean, I was picturing like small, like people are what is it? Like people have given gold, like it's just a small memorial. But you're saying they're large.
No, the casket itself is made out of pure gold, and it is very ornate and elaborate, and like there's spirals of metal that go along the lid. All 6 of those caskets are solid gold, and then the casket at top that Drygulch sits in, you would assume, is made of pure platinum. And they look thick and heavy. That's what she said.
Well, I want to take Kit, and I just want to have him go through the top, because I want to see where we are.
Oh, go through the little hole? It's not big enough. It's just a hole this big that you might be able to stick your thumb through. But because of the height of the hole, The sunlight is able to expand as it goes down onto the casket and hits the casket at full length.
Are there any other doors or room or things in this room?
Not except the hailstorm behind you that is still raging.
Barry, you should probably check this room for traps.
That's funny. I was just going to ask you to check it for magic.
That as well.
All right. I'm going to check for traps.
Sure.
I'm gonna check it for things that I can move. No.
I want to lift the first casket and throw it.
That's an 8.
Okay. And you're going through your ritual casting of Detect Magic, yes? As Barrow starts moving through the space, and as Amora sits down and starts casting Arcane Ability, an ethereal green figure rises out of the platinum casket. Dwarven. As it comes into the space, it kind of lurches forward, hangs its head, and spins to you and hovers above the casket. It is Graic, you see now, or the spirit of him. And he turns, and he speaks in Dwarven, which none of you understand.
I'm going to slowly approach him, right? And I'm going to attempt to say his name. I'm going to bow my head, get down on one knee, bow my head, put my staff and sword up as a sign of
Okay,
reverence.
sure.
I will follow suit if I see this.
Okay, yeah, you see it. He says something else in Dwarven to you. Do you say anything back?
No. Cast comprehend languages.
That is for written languages.
No, she can understand.
Oh, she would understand everything that's said?
You, for the duration, you understand the literal meaning of any spoken language that you hear.
Very good.
Also understand any written language you can see, but you must be touching.
Okay. Now, Hadvar, did you say anything?
All I said was his name and bowed.
Okay. Barrow, did you say anything?
No, not yet.
Actually, one other thing is I'd like to take out the thing that I've written.
Yeah, the copied
Yeah, and
insignias.
place that forward, and kind of
Make it very obvious that you're not being contentious or antagonistic.
yes.
Good deal. Noted. You cast comprehend languages, Amora?
Yeah.
After he said a few things, you hear him say, "Why haven't you answered me? What's wrong with you?"
Because I can't respond.
You can respond in common or whatever language you choose.
Oh, I'm gonna ask. Hey, do you know what he's saying?
I know what he's saying. He's asking me why we're not responding to him.
I'm gonna say in common, we don't speak Dwarven, basically.
You see a big kind of stress melt off of him, side of his shoulders, kind of defeated look. Aye, only the great ones do. You've disturbed our rest in this sacred temple, built for me and my kin. 2 of you may leave peacefully, but 1 of you must stay behind as a sacrifice.
Is that?
Is he speaking in common or still?
He said that in common.
Okay.
We came here because we need your help. The world's in peril again.
Aye, the world's always in peril, from one distress or another.
But this time,
From another plane. That's why we came here.
Long have we rested, and we intend to keep it that way. I can help you. But one of you must still sacrifice. There must be payment.
Perhaps there's another way?
He kind of scans to the left, and he scans to the right, looking at all of his fallen comrades. I've sacrificed much to keep this world safe. I shouldn't be asking too much for you to do the same.
We're all the world has left right now.
Then you will all perish.
Wait. No.
And he
this is
raises
not
his hand
necessary.
up. He raises his hand up, and he fades from view as you see him kind of sink back into the statue. And the statue lurches forward, and you see all the dust come off of it, and you see kind of the rocks grind against each other and debris, and you see him stomp forward and slam his maul on the ground as the two front caskets explode open, as you see two mummified corpses of two more dwarves reach out of the caskets.
I immediately cast Shatter on him.
We'll stop there for tonight.
Damn
We'll
it.
pick it up there next time. But we'll roll initiative at the beginning of next session, and then we'll go from there and see what happens. It sounds like he is willing to help. I will say, you guys avoided a slew of issues throughout this temple because of the rapid pace that you went through it. There was a whole menagerie of awful things that could have happened. But yeah, it worked out okay. You guys didn't take too much damage. It was just kind of like quick thinking. A couple spells were cast, and it seemed to work out okay. So bravo to you guys. You got through the plagues of Egypt easily enough. Most of them. Anyway, you avoided the worst ones. Death of the firstborn and whatnot.
Oh, jeez.
So, but that's also kind of at play in this last room. So there was a sacrifice that was requested and denied. But I don't expect any of you to give up your character either. So, I mean, now that we're past it, I will say that your familiar might have worked if you would have sacrificed it.
Well, and I really thought of that, and I was like,
I was trying to get more dialogue by saying there must be another way.
yeah.
But
He wanted action. Sorry. He's a mummy. There are a lot of mummies in this room. 7 of them, actually. So, but yeah, we'll pick up there next time, and we'll see how this goes. Huh?
I said nobody ever wants to listen to Barrow. He tries to reason with people, and they're just like, "Nah, fuck you, man. You're gonna die. Cool, just die."
Most of the NPCs that you try to deal with are already so engrossed in their own facets that they're never going to change their ways. And then all the people that are definitely amenable are just nah. You guys never talk to those NPCs, and I'm just and there they go out the door. So it is what it is. I mean, there's an easy way around this. I will say that there's a few tricks and issues that go along with this room in this combat scenario. So we'll see how you guys handle it and move forward from there. But yeah, we have the shield breakers and Grayek himself.
Awesome.
And potential huge benefit out of
It sounds like there's
some conclusion.
Sounds like there's a lot of good stuff
There is a lot of good stuff that can be bestowed on the group if everyone is going to survive.
it's alive.
Yeah, so. But you guys have plenty of issues. You guys have a bajillion magic items. I'm not concerned. You guys should be fine. They're all level 12, so,
Tira.
Wait, we're level 12?
No, they are.
Oh.
And no, they are not either. I won't tell you what level they are, but It's a fair fight.
No, I know. I don't. I'm not gonna sit here and just assume that you've left this open for 5 players and then just now we're down to 3 and it's
Definitely
like
not.
Well, and that's
Definitely
what I
not.
thought. Like the when we went to go defeat the Bahir, you're like, guys.
Yeah, well, that was skilled for 5 players, and we did not have 5 players, so that was different. But that still worked out to your benefit, so this should be fine. And mummies. Who doesn't like Egyptian mummies?
I think it's cool.
Yeah, I really like the
I
you
told
know,
you would like it.
the biblical references throughout the cave and whatnot, like the river turned to blood, and the flies and the locusts and the steam, the burning flesh. You would have gotten a bunch of boils and they would have all popped.
I had a feeling that's what that was.
Yeah, boils. And I didn't want to do frogs, so I did snakes. I thought that was more,
They could have been poison dart frogs.
they'd all have 1 HP. One AoE spell ruins that whole encounter. I'm just like, bleh.
yeah.
So I thought 3 cobras that grew to 20 feet would be cool.
Yeah, that was terrifying, by the way.
Yeah, highly poisonous. They're poison scaled. So a normal snake, I think, gets like a 2d8 poison if you don't save. They had 5d6 poison if you didn't save each.
Yeah, that would have been I honestly thought, like, if I could have gotten those snakes, I was gonna fight those snakes, and then you said 20 feet long, and all I could think about was how me getting wrapped up and like coiled up in there, and I'm like, and at that point, then I'm just getting dead.
Well, now you do have your giant belt on, so you might have been able to resist a lot of their grapple checks, but Amora, Barrow, and Scythe, maybe not so much.
Yeah.
Well, especially because once Barrow left, I was like, maybe I can do this, and then they got 20 feet, and I'm like,
No. No, but like you guys handled all of the other encounters to a T. You avoided all of the negative effects. Like there was no boils. You didn't fight the flies. You didn't the first save when you were in the dust in the area with all like the gems, you didn't touch any of the valuables. For everything that you took, everything got way worse. Very much like an Aladdin scenario, like if you touch all the treasure and whatnot. So
yeah, I kind of felt that as soon as I got here. Now,
by doing that, you saved a lot of issues. So
all I'm saying is if I was playing my other character, Garrett would have tried to take every single
going up to the columns of gold and just kind of like wedged out the emeralds and the diamonds and the rubies.
Yeah, Garrett wants all of it. He's the worst.
So if you would have taken anything, the dust would have actually settled on you, and then they would have turned into insects, and they would have started gnawing at your flesh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, I didn't. I forgot. Question for Brandon and Mandy. Sorry, Kyle, because you don't live in Harrisburg. Friday, I work Friday, yes. But Friday Eve, what are we doing? He works Fridays.
Oh, then never mind.
Yeah, I just thought of that. So we can't do it anyway.
I do.
I got Mysterium for my birthday, the board game.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so we wanted to play with you guys, and I just realized that you do not have Fridays free, so.
But if you guys want to come to the shop on Friday, it is Friday night game night, and you can try out some games, including Mysterium, which we have there.
We're gonna be in Mount Gretna.
Oh, we're on the other side. We're in Mount Gretna.
Oh, well, Hey.
We were going to be out that way, so we thought we'd be able to swing by through Elizabethtown because we're going to be on like Horseshoe Pike and all that other stuff. Then we could just shoot into Elizabethtown and hang out for a bit. But next time. But good job, guys. You're still alive. You're in the last room. This is all good stuff. You're fighting some ancient mummies. That's fun.
So if we would have touched any of that gold, it would have leveled up everything else. It would have made everything else harder.
No, it would have just had bad consequences for everything that you touch. You would have kept it. So if you would have like taken a diamond off of one of those columns, something bad would have happened. But you would have had a new diamond.
Amora was so itching.
Yeah.
Shiny.
Yeah, I kind of put a lot of that there, thinking that you would go for some of it. That's why I kept asking, do you touch it? Do you touch it? But do you touch it?
I touch it.
So shiny.
Yeah, because touching it doesn't matter. Because that's why, and I tried to make you guys feel safe, actually, as like a manipulative DM. Every time you touch something, I don't know if you realize, but nothing happened.
Yeah,
Right.
Like when you touch a statue, nothing happened. When you touched the columns, nothing happened. When you touched the whatever, nothing happened. So my plans failed. That's okay. You outplayed me.
We're learning.
I feel like I've learned this lesson with a cursed sword.
Yeah. Lesson well learned. That was a very hard lesson to learn. But now you have to make one roll whenever you cast spells instead of like a bajillion.
But
Have a good night, guys.
you
We
too.
will continue this soon. Hopefully, I will post more days in the chat, and then we'll continue as soon as possible.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Have a good night.
Night.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
We'll see you later.
Yeah.
Yeah.